Let's freaking go. I wish I could celebrate this news with my fellow Hoodats out there, but I can't celebrate it because yesterday did damage to me internally that cannot be repaired. It is impossible. I am beyond comprehension today, but it is a good thing that the Saints did what was needed and fired Dennis Allen. This could not continue anymore. And you can make a very, and I mean very strong case that Dennis Allen is the single worst coach of the modern era in NFL history. Now, before we get into different candidates, because there are some names that I would be very interested in. The first name, of course, would be Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator of the Lions. I think would do great work for our dear beloved Hoodats. Obviously, we're in the quarterback business as well. But I want to show you a few different stats. So Dennis Allen was 26-53 as a head coach. No big deal, right? So much of what you are as a coach is who your quarterback is. And Dennis Allen was the coach of the Raiders, which obviously isn't really that good of a team. Okay. But I want to show you this stat from Evan Abrams. Okay. This is insane. As a favorite, Dennis Allen's teams, in other words, Las Vegas thinking that Dennis Allen is the better team in the matchup that he's playing, he is 9-18-1 against the spread. 9-18-1 against the spread in his career as a favorite. The worst mark of any head coach in the last 30 years. Dennis Allen coached 5 seasons in the NFL. His teams are 0-5 to their preseason win total. And obviously the Saints are well on their way to 0-6. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Let's throw another stat up here to show you how inept the Saints were. This is yesterday. The Saints are the first team to win the turnover battle, have a total yards margin of 150 plus, rush for 150 yards, and lose since 2003. All previous teams in this category were 354-0. Let that sink in right now. So I'm done. So thankfully, yeah, Ryan, that's the point of this live stream. I'm just happy this is over. Now, I'll go through a few candidates. Obviously, Ben Johnson's number one on my list. He is number one on everyone's list, or a lot of people's list. If you want to go to a defensive head coach who is big on culture and all that, Mike Vrabel is out there, and he's very hungry. And then, of course, one man who would be interested because ownership would let him do what he needs to do is Bill Belichick. I would not go that route. I really would not go that route. But Bill Belichick is out there. Okay? Now, there's a couple of other candidates I would stay away from. I wouldn't just go get a hot young OC that is having 1 year of success just out of nowhere. And that guy is Cliff Kingsbury. I would not go that route. But this is not the most attractive job in the world. It's not, because we don't have an elite quarterback and we don't have an elite offensive line. And we're old. And we have some monetary restrictions. Okay? This is not the easiest rebuild. but you are in a rebuildable division. You're not in the AFC. The best quarterback in your division right now is Kirk Cousins. He's got 2 years left, maximum, and I'm a fan of Kirk. It's done, right? It is not the hardest rebuild, while it's also not the easiest. Okay, Carolina still sucks. They're in a massive rebuild. And Tampa Bay, while they are very good, that is also an older team. So I think this is salvageable. Obviously, if the Saints keep losing, they are very much going to be in the mix for a really good draft pick next year. The problem is the Saints will be rejuvenated because Dennis Allen is out the door. They are excited that Dennis Allen is gone. No matter what kind of lip service you get from the players, they're excited that Dennis Allen is out of town. Okay, so why do I say that? Well, this team is likely going to win some games. We don't know who the interim is yet, but they're going to win some games now that Dennis Allen is out. That's how this stuff works in the NFL. And the absolute most Saints thing to do in the world of Saints football is to go on a winning streak here when it's too late, because there are good pieces here, because you finally have a competent coach. And obviously it's impossible at this point to make the playoffs, but this team has enough pride and enough talent to win quite a few of these games left on their schedule to put them in the normal Saints draft slot of the 10 to 20 range, right? Which is the friend zone of the NFL draft. Now, I'm not saying there aren't good players that get selected there. Odell was selected 13th. Obviously, Aaron Donald, same spot. Brock Bowers in this last draft. There's a lot of good players that go in that range. I'm just saying, to get an elite quarterback, we saw 6 quarterbacks go in the first, 13 picks last year? So there is a piece of me that wishes the Saints would just lose out, but there's also a piece of me that hates that line of thinking. And you take a look at the rest of the schedule for the Saints. Atlanta, winnable. Cleveland, winnable. Rams, winnable. 3 consecutive home games. Then you go to the Giants. Then you have the heavily anticipated return to Louisiana for Jaden Daniels. Then you're at Green Bay. You host Las Vegas. And you're at Tampa Bay. And part of what really sold me on this version of the Saints is the schedule, right? Like, honestly, a lot of the teams that are left on the schedule, only one has exceeded expectations, and that's Washington. Green Bay's about where we expected them to be. Tampa Bay's about where we expected them to be. So it sets up somewhat nicely for the Saints. Now, I just wanted to do this quick live stream to share that you could see there is some excitement in my soul, but there's also some skepticism. And I feel this comment from Jared is fair. This should have been done last year. And he's right. He's right. But, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I don't even know how I feel about this right now, because it feels like all of this was just wasted. And it's also crazy to see how everything just kind of snowballed. You lost the Eagles game that you should have won. You lost the Falcons game that you should have won. And since then, you have given the fan base 4 consecutive weeks of ass. 4 consecutive weeks of ass. Nobody should get that much ass. I didn't get that much ass the month after I got married. That is a whole lot of ass to get to the fan base. I mean, that is a Meg Thee Stallion Instagram post level of ass to show your fan base. That is a Johnny Knoxville in 2007 level of jackassery given to the fan base. And it's unacceptable. It is. Power Hour NFL. Boom. If you want to see the film study from yesterday's monstrosity, check it out down below. Let's go.